From June of 2022 to August of 2022, I was going super hard when it came to building up my personal TikTok page. On that page, I'll make two types of content: self-improvement content and business content, specifically when it came to my journey and my insights, the things I was learning while building up my marketing agency. During that time, because I had a bunch of passion, a bunch of fuel to actually build up my TikTok page, I used to make super highly animated videos where I would do all types of effects, sound effects, text captions, popping out, zoom in, every type of effect. I started to realize that it would actually take a lot of time away from my day. I was really not getting that many results, and ultimately I was focusing on learning the wrong things when it actually came to short form video editing. So if you're watching this video, you can likely relate to this quite a bit. Ultimately, the solution, at least from what I have found personally, is to improve the decision-making process that you actually undergo while editing. It needs to be very quick. I'm gonna share 3 ways that you can improve your decision-making process so you can actually get great results in short form, save time from actually editing these videos, and actually learn in a way where you're going to actually be progressing. The first thing I like to ask myself is, does this edit make sense? Oftentimes when we start to edit, sometimes we actually forget the logical side of it, of why we should actually add this edit, this effect, text caption, whatever, because ultimately, if it's not adding from a visual and also aesthetic perspective, there's no really a point of actually adding that effect or that edit that you may be thinking of when it actually comes to just editing your short form videos. So the second part of my decision-making process when it comes to avoiding over editing is basically asking myself, is this edit necessary? Like I said previously, there can be a lot of edits that we just start to add on because maybe we get caught up in the moment, but ultimately we do want to get results. We want to make sure that we're actually efficient or effective with our workflow. And the last part on just the video, specifically that edit being necessary, can you offer this effect with something different, something similar, or does it have to be this type of edits? Third and final part to my decision-making framework when it comes to avoiding over editing is basically asking myself, what would the viewer actually think about this? Because ultimately at the end of the day, even though we really like to make videos for ourselves, they are largely for the viewer. Otherwise, why are we posting the video? Since we want other people to see it, inherently it is designed for the viewer. A few ways that I personally use in order to filter, do I really need to add this edit or this effect in, is really just ask myself, what would the viewer actually think of this? Would it actually enhance the viewer's understanding of the message, or would it decrease it? Because something I've said specifically in my TikToks is I used to say things like, editing, it's almost like a bridge, because you have the message right here, then you have where the viewer is, and it needs a vehicle. The viewer needs a vehicle. That vehicle is the editing, because it can really tell a story, convey that type of information in order to get to the core message. Too many edits, too many effects at some point will take their understanding of the message away, because now they're putting their attention towards the effects as opposed to putting their attention towards the idea and the meaning behind the video. And the last thing is really just asking, does this actually retain their attention, or does it throw it away? Viewers, especially on TikTok, their attention is not that long. And sure, we can add all these effects, all these edits and whatever to basically increase the likelihood of them watching the video in full, but at a certain point, adding certain edits and effects, all this stuff can actually start to take away and actually harm the retention, the attention of the viewer. So to really drive these points home, because they're super important to understand if you don't want to be over editing, I have a very short message right here. It basically says, remember that the viewer is always right. If you're getting bad results, think how the viewer may be thinking. This guy that I just quoted, he has some insane results when it comes to TikTok. He has an affiliate server that I'm part of. I really listen to his advice when he's actually speaking. He gives a lot of good information, and that's something I want to pass on to you guys because it's very important. If you forget about all the things I talked about in this framework, keep in mind, just remember, how does the viewer think about this? What do they actually feel about this? If you literally just consider the viewer more, you're gonna have a lot more results, way more efficient, way more effective when it comes to actually producing these videos. You're actually going to be learning a lot more about short form video editing so you can actually progress and progress and progress to the next level. Subscribe. I'm going to be giving a lot more short form video editing content, a lot of game, a lot of knowledge, insights, lessons, results, everything I'm doing. So subscribe and stay tuned for that. Let's get it.